Happy Monday, yoga teachers, and welcome to today's Facebook Live with me. I'm Allison Russell, and I'm really excited to share this information with you today. I say that every week, but I legit mean it because I just really love talking to you guys each and every week and sharing all the information that I have learned over the past 13 years that I've been teaching yoga. And the past, I've been doing this full time as my main career for about I think I'm at year 4. But I've been teaching yoga full time pretty much for 13 years. So all of the information that I share in these videos is really geared to helping you create a sustainable business with your yoga. All right. Now, I've talked about this before, that being a yoga teacher can be really tough. I meet a lot of people who want to quit their full-time jobs and they want to start teaching yoga, and they think that they can start just by teaching 20 to 25 classes a week. And it's impossible to sustain that. I hate to tell you, but teaching just yoga classes is not the way that you're going to make money as a yoga teacher. You cannot realistically teach 20 to 25 classes a week for the next 20 or 30 years. Hi, Kayla. I'm so happy that you joined. Kayla is a great example of this. She started teaching yoga. Sorry, I'm going to brag on Kayla a little bit. Kayla started just teaching yoga around her community, just like I did. Just started teaching some classes, but you quickly realize that in order to actually create a more sustainable business, you want to start branching out and offering more than just yoga classes. You want to start offering workshops and maybe yoga teacher trainings. And Kayla is now creating a more sustainable business for herself, even after she just had her son in January. She's able to host more workshops, she's also leading our yoga teacher training program, and she's creating a more sustainable business through her workshops and taking that next level as a professional yoga teacher. So Kayla's really rocking this information. And Feather's here. Hey, how's it going? Good morning. So today I'm really excited to share this because I want to help you create a more sustainable business besides just running around town and teaching 20 to 25 yoga classes a week. It's impossible to sustain that throughout your life for the next 20 to 25 years or however long you plan on teaching. So how can you actually create more money in your yoga business? How can you be seen as a leader in your community? And how can you create a bigger impact in your yoga community? Workshops are the answer to all 3 of those questions. Hosting and putting on yoga workshops are one of the best ways. Oh, hey, it's weird. It says Allison Russell Training said good morning, but I know that's Heather because she does my social media. Hosting yoga workshops are one of the best ways to create a more sustainable yoga business and set yourself apart as a leader within your community. But it can kind of be overwhelming to try and think about what kind of workshop you want to offer, or how to market that workshop, or how to set your pricing. So today and all this week on my social media accounts, I'm going to be giving you lots of tips on how to create workshops to help you create a more sustainable yoga business and create more money as a yoga teacher. So the first thing that I want to talk about today, and arguably one of the most important topics and questions that I get asked, is what should I teach for a yoga workshop? Well, this is a loaded question. There's a lot of different aspects to this question. First, you want to make sure that you're offering something that you're an expert in. What is your yoga niche? What can you offer that is unique for people? Are you an expert on hips? Are you an expert on hamstrings? Are you an expert on shoulders? What experiences have you had in your yoga teaching career that you feel most comfortable offering a workshop on? Do you really love the yoga chakra system or the 8 limbs of yoga? Or do you love stones? Do you love meditation? What do you love, and what have your experiences created, or what have your experiences taught you that have made you an expert in the field? So for me, I am now, after my hip surgery in January of last year, I now have a lot of information on the hips. And I could easily create a workshop on the hips because my life experiences have given me that experience or that information to create a workshop. So did you have a shoulder surgery recently? Heather, looking at you. Did you have a shoulder surgery recently and now you feel like you could create a workshop on yoga for shoulder injuries? Are you an expert on the chakras? Do you have a lot of experience with the 8 limbs of yoga? What are you an expert at? And how could you create that as a workshop? That's the topic that you're going to want to focus in on, something that you're an expert in. Okay, so that's my first piece of advice. Now, with that, you want to make sure that you're solving a big enough problem. Okay, and I'm going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow, but you want to make sure that you are actually solving a problem that people have. So there's a way to title your workshop. I could have a workshop that's just called Yoga for Runners, which is a really great workshop. I'm a runner myself. My experience has given me that information to create a workshop for yoga for runners. But that's not really solving a problem. It's just saying it's yoga for runners. What is a problem that runners have? Well, runners are constantly wanting to improve their time or decrease their injuries. So what if I named a workshop Improve Your Running Time with Yoga? Well, that has a little bit better ring to it, right? People are more likely to click on that and say, yes, I want to improve my running time. I could do yoga. They're more likely to click on that, and they're more likely to see that flyer and want that information rather than just yoga for runners. I also want you, whenever you're deciding what topic you want to choose, make sure that you run your topic and your title by someone who doesn't know anything about yoga. So I once worked with a teacher who always was always talking about EM yoga. She was always writing, join my EM yoga class, come to EM yoga. I would see flyers, workshop on EM yoga. And finally I had to ask her, what is EM yoga? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what you're trying to market right now. And she said it was energy medicine yoga. For me, I had no clue what it was. Imagine someone who didn't know anything about yoga. They definitely didn't know what EM yoga was. So remember to ask your fellow spouses and friends, people who don't know anything about yoga, and see if they understand what you're trying to convey with your yoga, with the title of your workshop. You want to make sure that people know what you're actually offering. I've definitely done this in the past where I've created this beautiful title for my workshop and no one had any idea what it was. Have you done something like that? Maybe you have. Even something like the yoga chakras. People don't know what the chakra system is. So maybe you don't want to title your workshop the yoga chakra system. That's not a very great title. What if you named the title Manage Your Stress Better with the Yoga Chakra System? Boom. That to people is like, oh my gosh, that's the kind of content that I want. I don't want to just learn about the chakras. I want to learn how to manage my stress with the chakras, especially if they don't even know the chakras. They don't care what system you give them. They just want to learn how to manage their stress better. So make sure that your title is apparent to people who don't know anything about yoga, and make sure it also solves a problem for people. Okay, so that's my very first piece of advice for choosing your workshop. Choose a good title and choose your niche. Next, what structure do you want to have for your yoga workshop? There's 3 big kind of structures that I see out there, and I'm sure that there's others. But first, you could do a 1-day weekend event. This is a great way to offer a workshop. You could do 4 to 6 hours at one time period. You're able to offer a lot of information right there, and people just have to take out, 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours of their day. Boom, right there. The bad part about this is you're probably going to be limited to weekends, and it's going to be, a Saturday at 2 p.m. You have to work around the schedule of the yoga studio, and most yoga studios don't have time late at night, but they do have time on weekend afternoons or even Friday nights. For some people, weekends are just off the books. They're not going to be able to make time in their day. I should let you know, though, you're never going to appease everyone with your workshop time. There's just no way. Everyone is busy and they always have things going on. So there's not a perfect time. But one option is to do a 2 to 4 hour block, usually on a weekend day. Second, you could do a full weekend workshop. All right. Now, pros of this is you can go really, really deep into the information. Cons. It's going to cost a lot more, and people also have to dedicate a lot more time. It's maybe not the best option for the very first time you're offering a workshop. You want to make sure you have a really good following before you do a full weekend. The third way that I like to offer workshops is as a series. So with a series, we meet once a week for 4 to 6 to 8 to 12 weeks. I personally really like this style of workshop the best because it allows me to teach my students. They can go home, integrate the knowledge, work on it for a full week, and then come back and share their experiences, share their questions, whatever they are, and we can work through those questions. We can still go just as deep with the knowledge, but they get more time to integrate. Now, the cons of this style is it can be hard to find that kind of time on the regular yoga schedule. The yoga studio may just not even have an option to meet at that time. So it may be hard to work that into the yoga studio schedule. People may not be able to dedicate 4 to 6 to 8 to 12 weeks. All right. So there's pros and cons to each of these styles. You just have to figure out what's going to work best for you. What kind of workshops have you offered? Have you done series or 2 to 4 hours? Have you done full weekend workshops? Is there another style that I'm missing? I'm sure there is. What is your favorite way to offer a workshop? Now, next, let's talk about the location. Where do you want to offer this workshop? And there's a lot of different places that you can offer a workshop. You can offer them at a yoga studio, obviously. You could offer them at your local rec center. This is one of my favorite places to really offer my yoga workshops currently. You can offer them at any place that has an extra room. So this could be at an event center. Now that may cost you quite a bit. You could offer a workshop at a hotel. They usually have rooms that they'll rent out to you. You could offer it at at the hotel, at a coffee house. I used to offer workshops at a local coffee house. They just had a spare room in the back. You can really offer a workshop everywhere. You're not just limited to just a studio. You could also have a workshop at your own house. That's always okay. There are some, safety things that you'd want to be aware of, but if you feel comfortable with that, you can always have a workshop at your house. So don't feel like you're only limited to the studio model. There's other places out there that can sometimes be more affordable for you to offer your workshop. Now, moving into the next discussion, which is probably the biggest question I get from yoga teachers. How much do I charge for my workshop? Whew. This is a question. Let me just say that. And I can tell you on Thursday on my social media pages, I'm going to be talking all about pricing. I'm going to give you guys some formulas and all sorts of really, really great content on Thursday. Now, before then, let's just start to go over some of these basics. First, you want to make sure that you set your price and a minimum number of students, okay? Now, first thing you want to look at is what are your costs. If you are teaching at a studio or a rec center, or if you're renting space, you are probably going to have to pay. And that's normal. What type of structure you want to pay is going to differ place to place, and the studio usually sets this up. I've worked with studios where I have just paid a flat rate. Okay, here's $150 for this workshop. Boom, we're done. If I only get one student, well, then I'm out a whole bunch of money. If I get, 20 students, I just made a bunch of money. But that flat rate is really, really nice because it's just, I know exactly how much it's going to cost. Most studios work on a percentage. They'll do a 50-50 split, a 60-40 split, or a 70-30 split. I don't see a lot of the 50-50. I would strongly encourage you to work for a 60-40, 70-30 split. And that means that you as the teacher is making the 60%, the 70%, or heck, even an 80-20 split. Now, how do you know which split is going to be best for you? It really depends on how much work the studio is going to invest for you. Yeah, the studio should be doing a little bit of work if you're paying them to use the space. They don't have to do a lot of work, but they usually will allow you to hang up your flyers and also email market for you and social media market for you. Now, they don't have to do any of this. You'll want to negotiate with the studio and ask them about this. Are they going to do a few social media blasts for you? Are they going to post this in their newsletter? That's a really big way for you to get students into your workshop. Now, I will tell you from personal experience, the studio is not going to create the marketing content for you and then put it in their email newsletter. You as a teacher have to create the content, make it perfect, so the studio just has to copy, paste, and then blast it out. So don't expect the studio, because you're giving them 40%, to do all the work. You got to do 95% of the work, so the studio just has to do a small 5%. They get your information out there and you get more people into your class. The studio will also probably be collecting the payment. So it's very natural for them to collect a percentage. Don't be appalled by that idea. But make sure in your contract or that you have some really good negotiations with them. Ask them to help you market. And if you provide them the information, they certainly will. Okay, now that got a little bit off on the pricing topic, but I want to come full circle to that. So let's say, so now you have some of your costs. You want to determine what the studio, what the percentage of the studio will take. Are there going to be any equipment fees? Are you going to have to purchase anything? If you're doing a chakra class on chakra stones, are you going to buy the stones? If you're doing a mala making workshop, are you going to buy the mala beads for everyone? Factor in those costs per student. It'll also be a per student fee to the studio because they're taking, 40%. You also want to determine how much money you want to make. This is going to be your time. And it's impossible for me to tell you how much you should make because each of us will have a different fee and a different cost and an idea of how much we want to make. So do you want to make $25 an hour, $50 an hour, $500 an hour? It's probably not very realistic, but you never know. So determine how much you want to make and make that one of your costs. Now, on Thursday, I'll be providing this really, really great formula so you can start learning how to set your costs and your fees. But basically, you're going to take the price of the program, you're going to subtract, and just set an estimated price. So, okay, I'm going to offer this workshop for $100. You're going to subtract the cost of supplies, subtract the cost of any per student fee, so, the 40%, and that's going to give you a new total, a new price. This new price, you're going to divide by how much you want to make. And this is going to give you the number of students that you'll need. It's going to give you a number like 8.214. So you need 8.2 people to break even, or I guess 8 or 9, because you can't get 0.2. So you would need 9 people to break even. I'm going to provide all of this information for you, but make sure on Thursday, make sure that you set your price. Be realistic about the studio costs, be realistic about the supply costs. Know what you want to make as the teacher, and then set the price for the workshop accordingly. Now, you'll want to do some research as well and see what other people are offering. If you want to make $500 for an hour and a half workshop, that may not be very realistic. You may need to make sure you get 30 students in that workshop. Well, is that going to be realistic? Are you going to be able to do that? So make sure that you're realistic with yourself. Make sure that you're looking at what other people are offering and be within a good range. Do not undercut your value, and do not try and be cheaper than everyone else. I cannot say that. I'm going to repeat that. Do not try and offer a workshop cheaper than everyone else. That is really, really bad. All right. It's bad for the whole industry. Everyone in your community is not going to appreciate it. Don't believe me? I want you to think about a massage. How much is an average massage? $60? So that person in your community who offers a massage for $25, well, first of all, they're probably not getting the highest quality clients, because if I see a massage for only $25, I'm assuming it's not a very good massage. And that other massage therapist who's charging $60, she's going to be pretty pissed that you're offering something for so cheap. I've seen this play out time and time again, and it never works out for the person who's offering a massage for $25. Don't undercut your competition. There is no competition. If Sally Sue's giving massages for $60, you can also give a massage or offer massage for $60, and there's plenty of room for everyone in the market. Don't undercut each other to try and get more clients. It's bad ethics, it's bad competition, and I can guarantee you at some point you're probably going to raise your prices, because you'll realize that, you know what, I can't offer $25 massages. It's just not functional, or it's not realistic. I'm not making enough. And then you're going to have to raise your prices, and then your clients are going to complain. So just start on the same playing field as everyone else. We're all in this together. Don't try and undercut each other. Don't try and undercut each other. It just never works. All right. So what questions? Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. I could talk a lot about pricing. But what other questions do you have about creating a workshop? Again, just to highlight, choose a topic that you're an expert in. Set the title and the description to solve a problem for someone. Instead of saying yoga for runners, offer a workshop called Improve Your Running Time with Yoga. You'll probably get more people involved. In the title and the description, make sure that people who don't know anything about yoga understand what you're talking about. If you're offering a chakra workshop, people don't know what the chakras are. So make sure that you explain what they are, or that everyone can read it. Choose a good structure, a one-day class or workshop, a weekend workshop, or a series workshop. Choose a location, and then set your price. know that the location and the pricing will all kind of work together, and studios will take a percentage of the fee because they are putting in the work. They are, running the AC, they are offering up their studio, so they will take a percentage. But you as the yoga teacher can also ask them to do some of the basic marketing for you, like sending out an email to their newsletter, posting to their Facebook and their Instagram. But as the yoga teacher, you have to provide the content. And then finally, make sure that you set your minimum price that you want to make and structure your pricing based on what the rest of the competition or the rest of the yoga teachers are doing in your community. I don't want the word competition because there is none. What are the other yoga teachers in your community offering? And then be realistic. Set your minimum number of students as well. Okay. That's what I have to share today. Throughout this week, I'm going to be offering tons of more content and information about this topic, just so you can start to create your workshops and create that bigger community impact. I cannot tell you enough. Your students are looking for you. They want this information. You just have to put it together in a really great way, market it, and the students will come for you. They are looking for you. They want this. So don't be scared of offering workshops at your studio. Don't be scared that you're not the best expert. You have wonderful experiences in your life that people are wanting to know about. Share your experiences. It can be intimidating to put yourself out there as a teacher. You'll never think, or you may, my experience is, I never think I'm good enough, and I'm still doing it. So share your content, share your information, share your experiences with others, and they will come. And that's how you make an impact in your community. You just do it. All right, that's it. Oh, hi. Good morning, Jolene. I hope you all have a wonderful Monday. Oh, by the way, I'm really excited to announce that we are starting up our 300-hour yoga teacher training here in Longmont in September. So part of our 300-hour program is offering workshops. We're giving you the space to create your workshops. Shauna Hylinski and I here in Longmont are actually going to empower each and every one of our students to create their workshops. We're going to provide feedback for them. We give them the space to offer their workshops, and that's the way that you can start to really niche down and become that professional yoga teacher and leader in your community. So if that's of interest to you, please make sure you check out my website, AllisonRussell.com. I'll link to it here too, so you can see the information for the 300-hour program. Early bird registration ends, I think, September 1st. So make sure you start thinking about it. All right. Thank you all so much for watching today, and I will keep chatting with you all week. Ask your questions and let's open up the discussion and the dialogue. Have a wonderful week, yoga teachers.